What's up, guys? It's Johnny Candido of Candido Training HQ. Making powerlifting mainstream has been a topic since I began this channel. And honestly, it's always been one of the goals of this channel. I've competed in the third Raw Powerlifting Nationals to ever exist in 2011.
Let's go, Johnny. You can do this.
Come on, Johnny.
Let's go to 203 for Teresa.
Push it.
Come on, Johnny.
Yeah.
Good lift for Johnny Candido.
All right, Johnny.
Before that, there was this long, dark period of equipped, triple ply, disgusting West Side barbell powerlifting. Luckily, we're out of that completely. I didn't even mention steroid infested. That's how vile it was. But anyways, is that now we're in greener pastures. But one thing that even caught me off guard, and I was against this idea actually a little bit, and we'll get to why and why I was wrong, is some of the details of this meet. And it's what just happened recently, and that is Sheffield. So for those who don't know, $500,000 was given away. Obviously, big money meets are going to be the absolute future of the sport. You know, just like any other sport, you really have to be able to make a living off of it to see the best of the best. However, we also saw in real life some of the best lifts ever. For example, we saw Russell Orhe squat 745 pounds.
And it moves with speed.
Then we saw Ashton Ruska, my friend, squat 826 pounds for a world record.
Right on the money.
And then finally, we saw Austin Perkins, who's the best powerlifter in the world, break his world record total at 163 pounds, and then still not even place top 3. And in fact, he lost to Kjell Bekkeland. I believe that's how I say his name. The strong, short Norwegian man. That being said, none of those reasons are why this could take powerlifting mainstream. The real thing that's exciting to me is the format. And this is something where honestly I've changed my mind on. Is initially, I did not believe that this format made sense. It's that it goes by percentage of world record total, for those unfamiliar, instead of going by dot score or coefficient good lift points, for example, which is, by the way, the corniest name ever. That's the IPF's official coefficient, is good lift points. Good lift points. But if you went by good lift points, what's fascinating is that Austin Perkins would have been first place. And instead, he wasn't even on the podium. And then also the winner, Kjell, he would not even be on the podium. He would not even be top 3. So it's completely inverted. So you'd say, well, isn't that flawed? And also on top of this, Austin Perkins actually beat the guy who won this, Kjell again. He beat him by 52 pounds the year prior at Worlds when they competed in the same weight class. And then Kjell himself moved weight classes and dominated and set a huge world record and won all the money. So you'd see that and say, like, well, isn't that just unjust? Like, that just sounds like that sucks. But it's actually an amazing idea. And the reason being is that, first of all, I looked at past data. In the year prior, the top 3 correlated perfectly. It's just the exact same top 3 as the coefficient itself in good lift points. So generally, it does trend similarly. But by having this variation of percentage of world record, it really just blows things up and makes it fun again. And that's something that I think powerlifting really needs badly. Is that, it's actually funny, my brother and I were talking about this, relating to YouTube channels and stuff like that. Is sometimes things get so stuffy and they get so technical, and it's like, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be perfect, it's gotta be, everything's gotta make sense, everything's gotta be perfectly fair. And I think just actually blowing that out the water and just coming up with an idea of like, all right, who can hit this world record by what percentage, let's do it. And whoever gets it gets the money. I think there's a brilliance in that. And I will give Pete Spence a lot of credit for this, because he shared the data that shows just how successful this meet was. It got over 300,000 streams within a day, which is unheard of, especially in the past in powerlifting. But also this format he defended. And remember, I initially was for people going to the USAPL instead of the IPF when they split. And I was skeptical of Sheffield, both with the amount of money, and then also this format didn't seem to actually make sense. And I remember Pete Spence told me himself, he said, it's a feature, not a bug, that it's like this. And I was like, yeah, but it sounds like you're saying that. I don't really believe it. But now, I get it.
I get it.
Imagine if Usain Bolt had this, for example. You would get the best out of him possible. Okay, so he runs a 9.58. Now to win more money, he's got to run a 9.49. And I honestly think we maybe would have seen it because you see guys like that. When they dominate, they just win over and over again and relax. Whereas you've seen in all 3 years of Sheffield, it's always been different people. But at the same time, there are people who still are competitive each year, like Emil and Gustav, kind of in the middle. They're 93 kilogram lifters. So you see these weak points. So Jesus Olivares, he won the first one and blew it out the water. And now he's near the bottom of the pool because now he's compared to his old world record. But ironically, if he sticks with it, all you'd have to do is beat his old world record. He could probably actually win again in 3 to 4 years from now. So I actually think it's one of those things that it seems stupid at face value that you'd be punished for your own world record, but then it's actually brilliant because it both pushes them to increase and eventually just even hitting 101% would probably win it at some point. But then also it pushes the best lifters to move across weight classes. And then that reminds me a lot of the old school kind of Ed Cohn style of just being as strong as possible and as broad of a way as possible. To where maybe Shell will eventually move up in weight class to meet Austin Perkins because he will have milked the 145-pound weight class so much that it's actually easier to go head to head. So I think that it's going to be very fascinating to see how it plays out. And like I said, ultimately it's about making it fun again, making powerlifting fun again and not so tightly wound and constrained. Now, one last point I will say is I think we're seeing powerlifting succeed at this level to a point where, first of all, do you notice anything about this shirt? Look at this, added onto the arm because this is a new Think Deep, Squat Deeper shirt. Don't worry, it's coming out soon. Don't worry about it. I'll bring it to you soon, okay? But anyways, I lost my train of thought on that one. But anyways, what I think we're seeing is this separation between the elite lifters and kind of having it be a true spectator sport like the NBA, where they're giving out this type of money and it's this exciting and there's this much variety. And then I think the rest of the lifters who compete, let's say at nationals, who maybe get 10th at nationals, 15th at nationals. If I pushed it hard, I would say, especially if I went 163 pounds, I definitely could get 10th in my opinion. I've always been around that spot at least or higher when truly pushing it hard. But it's been a while since I pushed hard. But the main point is that even in that spot, even for myself, I just go like, all right, well, what's the point really? And I think that this actually, in a good way, will push people to question that for themselves and say, okay, maybe we watch this, but then instead of powerlifting being this kind of participant-driven sport, have it be a true spectator sport, and then on our own time, use powerlifting principles to prioritize strength training how we want to do, however that is. So if you want to squat high bar ass to grass, you want to do deficit deadlifts, you want to do close grip bench because bigger range of motion looks cool and is better for practical strength, and we all know it, then let's do it. And I think that's a beautiful thing that could happen from seeing the production value increase like this. And hey, hopefully I could get a commentator spot, live commentator spot. I would take it, but I'm just saying. Now that being said, if you do want to build strength and focus on yourself, like I was saying, is I think that we're going to see more people do whatever they want to do and not necessarily be in this pipeline if you have to compete a certain amount of times. Then by all means, link is in the description for the Candido Forever program, and there will be a lot of programs. I will also add some variety here soon for people who are general strength training enthusiasts. But for now, you could always apply any powerlifting program however you want and do a variation if you want along the theme of what I'm talking about. But anyways, that being said, make sure to like the video, support the channel. We'll see where powerlifting goes, and the programs are linked in the description. Have a great day, guys. Peace.